The Brumby government has been accused of backflipping on putting protective service officers on train stations. Brendan Donohue's at Southern Cross Station tonight. Brendan, what's happened with the government's policy?
Well, Peter, the opposition says the government's done a complete somersault and is now a fan of placing armed protective service officers at every rail station, something the opposition first suggested in November last year. As the security wing of the Victoria Police, protective services officers are armed but currently limited to guarding Parliament, the courts and other government buildings. The Premier calls them quasi-police. The opposition has promised to recruit 900 more, placing 2 at every rail station at night, a policy attacked by government MPs as a joke and a fraud. But in a major embarrassment for the government, placing PSOs on train stations is clearly identified in the government's own major policy document for 2010. Not that the Premier John Brumby was up to speed on its inclusion.
Well, I haven't seen advice in relation to that matter, Brendan.
A clear backflip by the Premier, yet another. We've had this happen on about 30 occasions.
Police Minister Bob Cameron reluctantly admitted the government doesn't oppose PSOs being put on rail stations.
Whether it's PSOs or police, you know, the public, I'm sure, want more of them, and that's what we're doing.
But neither the Labor Party or the Liberal National Coalition has spoken to the police union about how protective service officers who have only 6 weeks training will adapt to the more active role of patrolling rail stations late at night.
A whole series of questions then arises as to whether you just make them all police officers and do away with PSOs entirely. So it's a bit of a Pandora's box.
Brendan Donohue, 7 News.